This story is only but a snapshot of something bigger, genuine, and completely unique. I cannot ever try to impose that this is the memory of every single person, but at the very least, I hope it makes you smile, reflect, and give you an idea of the wonderful connections of personal history and the culture of this wonderful group of people. They are my family. So, let's jump in.
3, 2, 1!
Cable, Wisconsin is our destination, but if you asked one of us where we go every year, the response would probably be up north. How do you feel about that? Up north, just a small town, a beautiful lake, and no cell reception.
And when it came together on that Saturday afternoon that you met everybody, that was exciting.
That was the boat that we always took.
Yeah.
The 4 of us.
Yeah, that was BC. That was before kids.
Before kids. People were literally circling us, going, "Are you guys okay? You need to tow in? You need to tow in?" We're like, "No! We're fine. We still have Mai Tais."
It goes right or black.
Every great story starts somewhere, and depending on who you ask, our story of up north may have a different beginning. But one thing is true through it all, and that is where this group of people came from.
German American Singers is a group that started out from Kinderchor to Jugendchor, and then after they reach a certain age, they formed a senior group, and they eventually called them the German American Singers. They started probably in the late 30s.
I tell you, we have friendships from, hard to believe, but it's 70 years that we've known people.
We all lived in the pretty northwest side of Chicago, same area. You came out of high school and you joined this group. That was the evolution.
And then like from that, we did probably end up going up north, because Eleanor and Bill had a place.
We arrived at Lake Owen in 1961. We had a friend who went up there at the neighboring resort, so we stayed there for the first year, and we loved it. We got out of the car and I saw the expanse of the lake and I thought this was it. And so the following year we wanted to go back, and they didn't have any room for us. But they told us that Norway Lodge was just recently bought by a couple in Chicago, and maybe you could find a place there. So we right away went over there, and we had cabin 1, the big cabin, for 20 years. And in the meantime, in '81, we found a lot on the lake. And I know we looked for 20 years to find a lot on that lake. And from then on, we just stayed there. And then that first winter, my husband says, "Why don't you invite some of the group up?" I says, "Willie, there's 8 couples." He says, "Oh, they won't all come." Well, sure enough, they all came. I invited them all, and they all came for 25 years.
And from there on in, everybody got interested with their families. It grew, and then it grew, and then it grew.
I mean, the whole town knows us. It's the group, the German group from Chicago.
Four generations up at the lake. Some families have come and gone, but we will always have this place and this group of people that bind us together.
The best is you come up to this place after not seeing people for a year. Sometimes if people can't come up, it could be longer, and you're immediately right back to where you started. You know them like you see them every day, so it's pretty cool.
Just about the same thing each year, but it gets better and better.
Yeah, on the way up, you look, nothing changes, but that's the best part about it.
Just about the same thing every year. But don't let that fool you. With this group, it never gets old.
Activities while we were up there were sometimes unique in itself. Parties, costume parties. There was treasure hunts up there.
See, like 2 teams are together.
In and around the area, on the water, under the water. The parties there up there became unique.
Who's got it in their hand?
We had fishermen there, up there. They did pretty well. They did very good. And always at the end of the week, there would be a fish fry. And that fish was good. One of the other offsprings that came from it is what I started. I started cheese parties, pungent cheese parties.
Oh, and didn't you know only the best parties have singing?
Ein Prosit, der Gemütlichkeit. Prosit, Prosit, Prosit.
Even the bad kind.
Sing a song, you sing a song.
What is it? No day is wasted, even on the days you can't sit on the beach.
On rainy days, we go to Hayward, which is like 30 minutes from our resort. You would go to like the t-shirt shop so you could get shirts for you and your friends or stuff like that. And then there's the candy store that we always go to.
What are you getting, Kevin?
My choice today is Crybaby Tears and Crybaby Gumballs.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. Because I like sour.
But when it's kind of just like cloudy days and stuff that like it's not worth it to be at the beach, then we always go karting.
But if there's one thing this group loves most about up north, it's the water.
What a great lake.
Yeah.
When you take it out there. The kids spent the whole time on the lake. Everybody's kids. We were always in the water.
And when the sun was out and the water was calm, you could give your best go on water skis.
Bill Weil had the boat. He had a number of boats. And we started on the little one was a wooden boat, and then he had another nice boat. He was the driver. Horst, Timmer, and I were on shore. And we were there to help the kids. And they were starting out at 5, 6 years old sometimes. They'd get there, we had little skis for them that would be tied together in the middle, and they'd get themselves in position, and we'd be looking at Bill, he's waiting for our signal, and from that time on, we would say, hit it, and then the rope would tighten, had themselves with their legs properly, and then we got on their little butts, and up they went.
There you go. There you go.
Didn't matter if you were any good. Point was that you gave it a try.
And when they stayed up, man, that was awesome. Many of them grew to good skiers, not good, great skiers.
There's something else that some of these people have in common, and that is learning to ski behind the Blitz.
My mother-in-law's father bought the boat brand new in 1949, and Willie Bile had it and then sold it to my in-laws.
My husband was he was a senior at Lane Tech High School, and his brother was a year older. He was at the University of Chicago. And we went to the boat show, and Mr. Bile, the father of the boys, said, "Why don't you boys look around for a boat?" We picked out a boat, and it was the Blitz. Then, of course, when we went to Lake Owen, of course, the boat came along.
Most of the people up here from my age to 80 years old learned to ski behind that boat. And when I came up here 31 years ago, it sat in a garage, wasn't used for a while. And I have a likeness of wood, so I put it in the water and used it for several years, brought it home, refinished, rebuilt. It was leaking, hole in the bottom, rotted wood, bed engine. I rehabbed it all in 2003 and 4 and brought it up here in 2004, and it stays up here.
Not everyone skied behind the Blitz, but it is something really special that has lasted through the years. Another piece of history that continues to be shared. The Blitz is a lot like this group. Out at the lake year after year. It was in storage and away for a while, but it found its way back to the lake and to this group of people.
I told my daughter today, my youngest daughter, the Blitz, as you mentioned, someday will be theirs. I told them never to sell it. It's been in the family. Keep it in the family. Keep that torch going.
No matter the time that has passed or what life has in store, we always find our way back to the lake.
My mom kind of said, like, earlier today, she asked, is it your favorite year? And there's not a favorite year that sticks out in mind, because like you could say, oh my gosh, this year was amazing, but like this year we laid on the rafts half the days rather than how when we were younger we used to go tubing every day. It's not like you have to go tubing or play volleyball or do some crazy thing for it to be amazing. This whole week we've been so relaxed, and I still think this week was just as great or better than last year.
To get together with your friends for a week or two, yeah, and then you left and then there were the tears.
It's just so weird that like we've grown up our whole lives together, but we've grown up for like 1 week or like a few times we see each other, and we're as close as we are, you know? But I've been probably crying for like 5 years now. It's like as you get older, I feel like when I was younger, like you were sad you get to like stop playing and all that, but like now it's like you kind of realize that we're gonna be like our grandparents where they take it all in when they could even just look at the water, whereas like we're gonna grow up with the same people that we've known all of our lives.
I don't think there are too many people that can say how long they've gone to one place and met the same people, you know. I wish everyone could have something like that.
These people may not be blood, but we are family nonetheless. Here's to the memories and the loved ones of our past, and to the future generations of this wonderful group of people. I hope to never see an end to this story.
Jackie.